The night was quiet, but the stars above were burning like fire. A small ship moved slowly through the black sky, cutting across the silence of space. Inside the ship was a human, a man who had traveled far, looking for a place no one dared to go. His name was Daniel, and he was known for walking where others ran away. The place he wanted to reach was dangerous. The maps marked it as forbidden. The traders whispered stories about it. The soldiers warned never to enter. But Daniel wanted to see it with his own eyes. He wanted to face what others feared. The ship landed on a planet covered in blue light. Strange towers of crystal rose from the ground, shining like frozen lightning. The air was heavy, but Daniel stepped out, his boots touching the surface with steady weight. He had faced storms before, he had fought monsters before, but this place felt different, it felt alive. He walked through the crystal forest, listening to the strange hum that filled the air. It was not wind, not machines, but something deeper, like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Every step made the crystals glow brighter, as if the world was watching him. Then, without warning, he saw her. She was standing between the towers, tall, glowing faintly, her skin shining with soft silver light. Her eyes were not human. They were deep pools of green fire. Her hair flowed like water, though there was no wind. She was not like any being he had seen before. She was beautiful, but there was danger in her beauty. Daniel stopped, and the alien girl spoke, her voice soft but sharp like a blade. "You should not be here, human. This place is not for your kind." Her words echoed in the air, carried by the strange hum of the crystals. Daniel did not move, he only watched her carefully. "I have walked many places not meant for my kind," he said, his tone calm. "I came here because I was told no human could survive this land." The alien girl tilted her head, her green fire eyes studying him. Her lips curved into a sad smile. "You were told right. No human can stand before me. No human can touch me. No human can bear the weight of my body." Her silver skin glowed brighter, as if the energy inside her was rising. "You are fragile, your bones will break. Your blood will burn. If you step closer, you will die." Daniel's heart was steady. He had heard warnings before. He had been told many times to turn back. But he never turned back. He stepped forward slowly, his eyes locked on hers. "If your body is too much, then let me see for myself. I do not fear what others fear." The alien girl's glow flickered, as if she was surprised. No one had spoken to her like that before. No one had dared to stand so close to her before. She raised her hand, her silver fingers shining like fire. The crystals around them pulsed with light, warning him, pushing him away, but still Daniel walked. One step after another, the silence grew heavy. The air shook with invisible power. The alien girl whispered, "Human, you do not understand. Your kind cannot take me. My body holds storms, my heart holds fire. Even my touch is too much for you." Her voice trembled, but it was not anger. It was something else, something between fear and curiosity. Daniel stopped only a few feet away. He looked into her burning eyes and spoke slowly. "Then let me prove to you what a human can take." The alien girl's chest rose and fell, glowing brighter. For the first time in many years, she felt uncertainty. She had seen humans before, but they always fell, always broke. This one was different. This one was still standing, still walking closer. Even when the air around him shook with energy strong enough to tear flesh apart, the ground cracked under their feet. The crystals hummed louder. Almost like a warning scream, Daniel did not flinch. His body steady, his gaze locked. The alien girl's hand trembled as she lowered it slowly, unsure if she should strike or if she should allow him to come closer. The night was alive with tension. The planet seemed to hold its breath. The human and the alien girl stood in silence, one glowing with dangerous power, the other glowing with stubborn courage. The first meeting had begun, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The air between them was heavy. Glowing with strange energy, Daniel stood strong, but the alien girl's eyes burned brighter, watching him with sharp fire. She had warned him once, but humans were stubborn. This one more than the others. Her voice came again, low and serious, carrying the weight of many years. "You think you are different, human, but you are not," she said, her words ringing like bells in the crystal forest. "My body is not like yours. My race was born from energy storms, from stars that broke apart, from fire that never dies. Your kind was born on soft soil with weak air and gentle sun." Her green fire eyes narrowed, her silver skin glowing brighter. "You cannot take me." "No human can." Daniel's boots pressed deeper into the crystal ground as he stepped forward. The hum of the planet rose like a warning drum. He stopped only a breath away from her. His face calm, his voice steady. Maybe you are right. Maybe humans are weak. Maybe we are soft, but I am here because I want to see if your warning is true. The alien girl tilted her head, her long silver hair shifting like liquid light. For a moment she almost laughed. But there was no humor in her sound, only sadness. You speak as if strength is in your choice. But my body does not care about your choice. My touch kills without trying. My breath burns without mercy. Her fingers lifted, shining with dangerous sparks. You do not understand. Even a single step closer could end you. Daniel's eyes did not waver. His voice cut through the air like steel. Then let me understand. Let me see your truth. Not your words. The alien girl fell silent, staring at him. Her mind swirled with old memories. She had seen humans before. Curious wanderers, fearless soldiers, desperate survivors. They all came with pride, and they all fell. Some collapsed at her feet, coughing blood. Others screamed as fire wrapped their bodies. Every time she warned them. Every time they did not listen. And every time they broke. Her voice softened. Not out of weakness, but out of weariness. Human, I have seen your kind burn. I have heard your bones break. I have watched your heart stop when they touched me. I do not say this to frighten you. I say it because I have seen the truth. She looked away, her silver hair hiding her glowing face. I do not want to see you fall too. Daniel felt the weight of her words, but he did not step back. Instead, he asked quietly, "Then why do you warn me? If I'm just another fool, why not let me die like the others?" The question struck her heart sharper than any blade. For a moment, her glow flickered, uncertain. Why was she warning him? Why did she care? She told herself it was nothing. Just routine, just habit, but deep inside, she knew it was different. This human's eyes were not filled with pride or arrogance. They were filled with something else, something dangerous, something rare. They were filled with determination. Her silence stretched, the crystals around them pulsing with the rhythm of her heart. At last she whispered, "Because you remind me of someone long ago, someone who also thought he could take it all. He was not human. He was of my own kind, and still, he broke." Daniel's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. "If even your kind could not take it, then maybe you are right. Maybe I will fail, but I will not walk away. Not until I try." Her green fire eyes widened slightly, the glow of her body flaring like a storm. "You are mad, human. No creature in this galaxy would choose such pain." Daniel smiled faintly, the corner of his mouth rising. "Maybe that is what makes humans different. We do not stop at warnings. We move forward even when it hurts." The alien girl's chest rose with a slow breath, her power pressing against the air, making the ground shake softly beneath them. She could end him now, one touch, one breath, one spark. But she did not. Instead, she lowered her hand, her voice trembling with something strange, something close to curiosity. "Very well, if you truly wish to see, then I will let you. But do not say I did not warn you. Do not say I did not tell you what would happen." The crystals around them grew brighter, casting long shadows across the alien forest. The hum in the air grew louder, like the sound of a great heart beating faster. Daniel did not flinch, his eyes locked on hers. "Let the truth show itself," he said. The alien girl's silver glow burned stronger, surrounding her like fire and storm. For the first time in many years, she allowed someone to step closer. Her warning still hung in the air like thunder, but now behind it there was another feeling, suspense, uncertainty, and a spark of something even she could not name. The encounter was no longer just chance, it was becoming something else, something greater. The warning had been given, and the human had not turned away. The galaxy itself seemed to watch, waiting to see what would happen when a fragile human touched a being who carried the fire of stars inside her body. The alien girl's glow burned like a storm, but Daniel stood calm in front of her. She had given her warning. She had told him what her body could do, but the human did not run. He did not even tremble. His eyes were steady, his voice strong and deep inside. His past carried the answer to why he was different. Daniel was not born into comfort. He was born in a colony on the edge of human space, a place where survival was never promised. The air there was thin, the sun was harsh, and storms of radiation swept across the land. Children grew up coughing, men grew old too quickly, and women prayed every day that the sky would not fall again. But Daniel grew in the middle of all this, breathing poison, fighting storms and learning to live where others died. When he was a boy, he saw his first death. A miner struck by a radiation wave, skin burning, eyes turning blind. Most children cried, but Daniel watched, his young heart heavy. His small fist tight, he asked his father, "Why do we stay here if it kills us?" His father had answered, "Because humans do not run, we endure, we change. We fight until the land itself bends to us." That lesson never left him. Years passed and the storms grew worse, but Daniel's body began to adapt. His lungs stronger than others, his skin harder, his blood carrying strange resistance. Doctors whispered that he was not normal, that his body was learning to fight the world itself. But Daniel did not care about science, he cared only about surviving. And about proving that his father's words were true. As he grew older, he faced more than storms. War came to the colonies, alien raiders hunting for slaves and fuel. Daniel fought when others hid at 16. He picked up a weapon too heavy for his arms, but he swung it anyway. At 20, he stood against creatures twice his size, claws sharp as steel, but he did not back down. At 25, he was already known as the man who would not fall, the man who took blows that should have killed him, yet rose again. Behind his calm face, scars told the story. His chest bore the mark of plasma fire. His arm carried the memory of a broken blade. His back had been struck by storms that melted steel. And still he stood, still he moved forward. Other humans called him cursed, some called him blessed. But Daniel did not believe in either. He believed only in will. This was the man now standing before the alien girl. This was the human who heard her warning but did not break. Because deep inside he had already faced worse than death. He had already lived through pain that most could not imagine. The alien girl looked at him, her fire eyes narrowing as if she could see beyond the surface, and in truth she could. Her kind did not only see flesh, they saw the energy of life itself, the echoes of memory carried inside the body. When she looked at Daniel, she did not see weakness. She saw storms, battles, scars. She saw a boy who had grown inside fire and learned not to fear it. For the first time, her voice wavered. You're not like the others," she whispered. Her silver skin flickered, glowing softer, uncertain. "You carry storms inside you. You carry scars that speak louder than your words." Daniel's eyes did not move. His voice low, steady. "My past is not soft. I have faced things that should have broken me, but they did not. I am here because I want to prove that even your fire cannot stop me." The alien girl turned away for a moment, her heart twisting. She remembered every human who had fallen, weak and screaming, and now before her stood one who looked like he was carved from the same storms that made her kind. Was it possible? Could a human truly take what she carried inside her? The crystals around them pulsed like beating hearts, answering the question with silence. Daniel did not press her. He only stood steady as stone. Because he knew one truth. He did not need to prove himself with words. His past had already proven it. His survival was his answer. His scars were his proof. The alien girl turned back, her green fire eyes still sharp but softer now. "If your past made you strong, then maybe you can stand longer than the others," she admitted. Her voice calm but heavy. "But strength is not enough. Human, my body is not only storm. It is more, it is weight that crushes, fire that consumes, and no past can prepare you for what I am." Daniel's lips curved slightly. Not a smile of arrogance, but a smile of certainty. "Maybe. But my past taught me one thing. There is nothing in this galaxy that cannot be faced, nothing that cannot be endured." Her glow rose brighter, her silver skin shimmering like liquid fire. For the first time since they met, she did not only see him as fragile human, she saw him as something else, something dangerous. And in that moment, for the first time, she wondered if her warning might fail. The forest hummed louder, the crystals shone brighter, as if the planet itself was waiting. The past of the human had been revealed. Now the question burned in the air. Could his future prove his words true? The alien girl's heart was heavy, her fire restless. But her curiosity had begun to grow, and curiosity was more dangerous than fear. The night on the alien world was still burning with light. The crystals shone brighter than before. Glowing with the tension between the human and the alien girl, Daniel had listened to her warnings. He had shown his past through his steady eyes, but words were no longer enough. If truth was to be known, then a test had to begin. The alien girl raised her hand, her silver skin shimmering with waves of power, her green fire eyes locked on Daniel, her voice sharp like lightning. You say your past made you strong. You say nothing can break you, then prove it. Let us see how long a human heart can survive against the weight of stars. Daniel nodded once. No fear in his face, only calm. He stepped forward until her glowing hand hovered just above his chest. The air grew heavy, the crystals hummed louder, and a storm of invisible energy swirled between them. The alien girl's voice dropped low, almost like a whisper of sorrow. This is your last chance to step back if you continue. There is no return. Daniel's answer came without hesitation. Do it. The moment her hand touched him, the world erupted. A flash of silver fire leapt into his body. Burning through his veins, the ground shook. The crystals screamed with light. The forest roared with energy like thunder. Any other human would have collapsed at once, their hearts stopping, their blood boiling. But Daniel did not fall. His body bent but did not break. His face twisted with strain, but his eyes stayed locked on hers. The alien girl's glow rose brighter, her hand pressing harder, pouring more of her storm into him. She wanted to see the truth. She wanted to watch his limits crack. Her fire wrapped around him. Her energy sank into his bones, and still he stood, shaking, sweating, but standing. Impossible, she whispered, her voice trembling as she felt his body resisting. No human can hold this much. Daniel's teeth clenched, his voice forced out through pain. Maybe no human has tried hard enough. The energy burned hotter, flooding through his chest, racing down his arms, tearing at his muscles. His knees buckled, but he did not fall. He forced himself upright, his hands rising slowly, and then with steady strength, he grasped her glowing wrist. Her fire met his touch, but instead of dying, instead of burning, his skin glowed faintly as if his body was answering back. The alien girl's eyes widened, her heart pounding with shock. She had never felt this before. Not from her own kind, not from any being. It was as if the human was not only taking her power, but also holding it, bending it, shaping it inside himself. Who are you? She breathed, her silver glow flickering wildly. Daniel's voice came low but firm. I am human, and humans do not break so easily. The storm raged louder. The ground cracked beneath them. The crystals blazed like suns. Her hand shook against his chest, but she did not pull away. She wanted to see more, to test more, to know how far this strange human could go. Her power surged, waves of burning energy flowing through him like rivers of fire. Daniel's heart pounded, his vision blurred, but his spirit roared louder than his pain. Step by step, he forced himself closer, his grip still holding her wrist, his body glowing faintly with her light. Every breath felt like knives, every heartbeat like thunder, but he did not stop. And when he stood only inches away, face to face with the alien girl, he whispered, "Is this all you have?" Her green fire eyes widened in disbelief, her voice breaking. No, this is only the beginning. With a sudden burst, her energy exploded, surrounding them both in a storm of silver fire. The forest screamed, the crystals shattered at the edges. The ground split with cracks of glowing light. Daniel staggered, his body trembling under the weight of a star itself. But still he did not fall, still he stood, his hands gripping her arms now, holding her with strength no human should have. The alien girl gasped, her own power reflecting back at her through him. She felt his heart beating like a war drum, strong, unbroken. Her warning had been true for every other human, but this one was different. Her voice came soft, shaking with something close to fear. You should be dead, and yet you live. Daniel's lips curved in a faint smile through the strain. I told you I can take it all. The storm began to fade, the crystals dimmed slowly. The ground stopped shaking. Her hand slipped from his chest. Her glow trembling, she stared at him, searching his eyes for weakness, for cracks, but found none. Instead, she saw defiance, courage, and something even stranger, warmth. The silence that followed was heavier than the storm itself. The alien girl pulled her hand back slowly, her silver skin flickering, her green fire eyes uncertain for the first time. She did not know if she was the danger in this meeting, or if the human was the danger to her. The test had been given, and against every warning, against every law of nature, the human had endured. The alien girl's heart beat faster, not from power, not from fear, but from curiosity that burned hotter than her fire. And in that moment, she whispered to herself words she had never spoken before. Maybe humans are not as fragile as I thought. The forest stood silent again. The storm faded, but the bond between them had begun. The test had changed everything. and the galaxy would never forget the night when a human touched the fire of a star and lived. The storm had ended, but the air was still glowing. Crystals hummed faintly, their broken edges shining like wounded stars. Daniel stood firm, his body heavy with pain, but his spirit unbroken across from him. The alien girl watched in silence, her silver skin trembling with light, her green fire eyes filled with something new, something she could not name. For the first time, she felt uncertain. No human had ever stood this close to her. No human had ever survived her fire. Yet Daniel not only endured, he reached for her. He held her hand when others fell in ashes. Her voice came soft, almost like a breath. "How can you still stand? You should be nothing but dust." Daniel's chest rose with slow breaths. Every inhale sharp with pain. Every exhale heavy with strength. "I told you I can take it. I will take all that you are. Because that is what it means to be human." The alien girl looked deeper into him. And without warning, something strange began to happen. Her fire did not only burn his body, it touched his spirit. Through their brief connection, she began to see him not with her eyes but with her heart. Visions flickered before her. A boy standing in storms of radiation, his lungs fighting for every breath. A young man holding a weapon too heavy, but refusing to drop it. A soldier bleeding in the dirt, but still rising to fight again. She saw his past, his scars, his endless struggle, and through it all, she felt something stronger than pain, stronger than fear. She felt his will. The alien girl gasped, pulling her hand back. But the vision stayed with her. Her voice shook. "You carry so much inside you. Storms, battles, memories of fire. You are filled with pain. But you do not bend." Her eyes burned brighter, softer at the edges. "Your body is strong, but your spirit is louder than mine." Daniel said nothing, his gaze steady, his silence stronger than words. The alien girl's chest tightened with a strange feeling. For years she had walked alone, warning others away, feared for what she was, hated for what she carried. Her own people had kept their distance, her touch too dangerous even for them. She had been alone in a galaxy full of voices, her fire making her untouchable, but now, a fragile human held her hand and lived now. A fragile human looked at her without fear, without disgust, without distance. Her heart burned hotter than her fire. She whispered not to him but to herself. "Why do I feel lighter? Why do I feel less alone?" Daniel stepped closer, not pushing, not forcing, only steady. His voice came calm, deep. "Because connection is not about weakness or strength. It is about choice. You chose to let me close, and I chose to stay." The alien girl's breath caught, her silver glow flickering like a candle. She had never thought of it that way. For her, closeness was danger, touch was death. But this human made it something else. Closeness became warmth, touch became strength. For a long time they stood in silence, the alien forest glowing softly around them. Daniel's eyes held hers, and in that gaze she saw no fear, no judgment, only truth. It was not the truth of survival, not the truth of warnings, but the truth of connection. Slowly she lifted her hand again. Daniel did not move. He let her decide. Her fingers, glowing like silver fire, touched his chest once more, but this time, she did not pour storms into him. This time, she let the energy flow gently, like a river instead of a flood. The crystals hummed softly, glowing in rhythm with their joined touch, and in that moment, the alien girl felt something she had never felt before. Her power was not destroying, not burning, not killing. It was sharing through the connection. She saw more of him, his dreams, his fears, his hidden loneliness, and in return, Daniel saw her. He saw her long nights of silence, her endless warnings, her sadness of living untouchable. He saw the burden of her fire, the weight of being feared by all. For the first time in her life, someone understood. For the first time, her fire did not make her a monster. It made her a part of something greater. The alien girl trembled, her voice breaking. You see me?" Daniel nodded once, his voice steady. "Yes, I see you, and I am not afraid." Her green fire eyes filled with something soft, something fragile. It was not anger, not warning, not danger, it was hope. The crystals glowed brighter, the hum rising like a song. The forest itself seemed to answer the moment, carrying their shared warmth into the night sky. The alien girl pulled her hand back slowly, her body glowing gently instead of fiercely. She looked at him, her voice quiet but filled with truth. "You are not like the others. You are not here to conquer or to flee. You are here to stay." Daniel gave no proud words, No boast, only a quiet nod. And that silence spoke louder than any speech. The alien girl turned her eyes to the stars above, whispering as if to herself, "For the first time I do not feel cursed. For the first time I feel alive." Their connection had changed everything. It was no longer about warnings or tests, no longer about fire and survival. It was about two beings who found each other across the endless galaxy. And the bond between them was stronger than storms, stronger than fear. It was the beginning of something new, something neither of them could yet understand. The night grew still after their connection. The forest of crystals glowed with gentle light, their hum soft like a song. For a brief moment it felt like peace, like the galaxy itself was holding its breath in silence. The alien girl stood close to Daniel, her fire calm for the first time, her silver skin glowing softly instead of burning fiercely. But peace never lasts long, not in a galaxy filled with eyes. From beyond the crystal towers, shadows moved, voices rose, and the hum of the forest turned sharp. The alien girl's eyes widened, her glow shifting back to storm. "They are here," she whispered, her voice trembling with both fear and anger. Daniel tensed, his hand falling to the side of his belt, where a blade of human steel rested. "Who?" he asked, his voice steady. Her green fire eyes burned brighter. "My people, the ones who guard me, the ones who call me cursed. They do not come to protect, they come to control, and they will see you as forbidden." Before Daniel could answer, the forest exploded with light. Dozens of figures appeared between the glowing towers, their bodies tall, their skin shining silver like hers, their eyes blazing with fire. They were armed with spears of pure energy, each humming with deadly power. The air shook with their arrival, the crystals flashing wildly. The leader stepped forward, his face hard, his voice echoing like thunder. "Sister of fire, what have you done? We told you never to let outsiders near. We warned you that your touch would destroy them, and yet you stand with one." His burning eyes turned to Daniel, sharp and full of hate. "And you, human, you dare touch what was never meant for you." Daniel stood tall, his body still aching from the test, but his spirit steady. "I dared because she let me. Because your warnings do not decide my path," the soldiers hissed, their energy spears glowing brighter. The alien girl raised her hands, her silver glow flaring as she stepped between Daniel and her people. "Stop, he is not like the others. He lives, he endured my fire. He is proof that humans can take it." But her words were met with fury. The leader's voice cracked like thunder. "No, he is proof of danger. If he can survive you, then he can threaten us. He must be destroyed before he becomes more." Daniel's hand gripped the handle of his blade, but he did not raise it yet. His eyes scanned the crowd, dozens against one, all glowing with power. He knew the fight would not be easy, but he also knew one truth. He would not run. The alien girl's voice broke. "Desperate, no please, he is not the enemy. He is the first to see me not as curse but as life. Do not take this from me." Her people did not listen, their steps closing in, their fire growing stronger. The leader lifted his spear, pointing it at Daniel. "Human, this is your end. No one touches what belongs to the stars and lives." The air trembled as the soldiers prepared to strike, but before they could move, Daniel stepped forward. His blade flashing out of its sheath, steel met fire as the first spear struck, the ground erupting with sparks. The human staggered but did not fall, his arm steady, his will unbroken. The alien girl gasped, her glow flaring brighter. He was fighting for her, against her own people, against a force no human should face. The soldiers attacked again, but Daniel moved like storm and stone, his blade cutting through light, his body refusing to bend. Each strike that should have ended him only pushed him harder. Each blow of fire that struck his chest only lit the flame in his eyes. The alien girl raised her hands. Her power flaring wide, she shouted at her people, "Stop, you fools, can you not see? He is not breaking, he is not falling. He is proving that humans are more than you believed." But her words fell on deaf ears. The soldiers pressed harder, their spears moving like lightning, their fire roaring louder. Daniel's body shook, his chest burned, but his blade never lowered. Every step he held his ground, every breath he fought. The alien girl's heart pounded, torn between her people and the human who refused to die. Her silver glow burned wild, her fire rising like a storm. And then she made her choice. She raised her hands high, and with a scream that split the air, she unleashed her fire. The forest lit up like a sun, the crystals bursting with sound. the ground cracking under the weight of her power. Her people staggered back, their spears faltering, their eyes wide. The alien girl stood with fire swirling around her, her body glowing like a star, and beside her stood Daniel, scarred, bloodied, but unbroken. Her voice roared over the storm. If you strike him, you strike me. If you call him enemy, then I will stand as his shield. Because this human has done what none of you believed. He has touched me, and he still lives. The soldiers froze, their fire dimming, their eyes filled with shock. Never before had she raised her power against her own kind. Never before had she chosen an outsider over her people. The leader's face twisted with rage and disbelief. You would betray us for him? Her answer came sharp, clear. No. I would betray fear itself. I would betray lies. I would betray the chains that made me walk alone. This human is not weakness. He is proof of something greater. The silence that followed was heavy. The soldiers still, the crystals humming low. Daniel stood beside her, his blade ready, his body trembling but his eyes burning. The danger was not gone, but the choice had been made. The alien girl and the human were no longer alone. They stood together, against enemies, against fear, against the galaxy itself. The forest burned with silver light. The alien girl stood glowing like a storm. Daniel at her side, his blade steady, his body marked with fire, but his spirit unbroken. Before them, her people waited, their spears dim, their eyes filled with disbelief. The silence was sharp, like the edge of a blade ready to cut. The leader's voice finally broke through, rough and angry. You stand with him against us, sister of fire. You call this fragile creature proof of strength, but look at him, his flesh is weak, his bones tremble. He cannot last. Daniel lifted his head, sweat and blood on his face, but his eyes alive with fire, his voice came steady, even as his chest shook with every breath. You see weakness, but what you do not understand is that weakness itself is our strength. We fall, we bleed, we suffer, but we rise again and again. And again the alien girl's heart trembled at his words. Her people muttered in anger, their voices rising like thunder. No human can carry the fire of the stars. No human can endure what we are, they cried. The leader raised his spear once more, shouting, Then let him prove it now, let him carry more than he can. Let him break before our eyes, the alien girl gasped, her glow flickering. No, he has proven enough, she said, her voice sharp. But Daniel placed a hand on her arm, his touch steady. Let me. This is what I came for. Her eyes widened, her voice breaking with fear. If they force more into you, you will not survive. Not even you. But Daniel only smiled faintly. Then let my end be proof. If I fall, it will show that I tried. If I rise, it will show what humans can be. The leader struck the ground with his spear, and waves of silver fire burst into the air. The energy rushed toward Daniel. Brighter, hotter, stronger than before, it wrapped around him, pouring into his body like rivers of stars. The ground cracked, the crystals screamed, the forest shook like thunder. Daniel's body trembled, his knees bent, his arms shook under the weight. Every breath felt like knives, every heartbeat like fire. The alien girl cried out, her voice filled with pain. Stop, you will kill him. But Daniel forced himself upright, his roar louder than the storm. I will not break. The fire grew hotter, filling his veins, burning his flesh, his vision blurred, his body swayed, but still he stood. The alien girl's heart raced. She wanted to tear the fire away, to shield him, but she saw his eyes, and in them she saw not pain, but will. He took another step forward, his blade raised, his voice cutting through the roar. You call me fragile. But fragility is not weakness, it is challenge. It is the reason we grow stronger. You call me human as if it is an insult. But it is our greatest strength, the soldiers faltered, their fire dimming as his words struck deeper than any blade. The leader shouted, desperate, Impossible! No one can take so much. Daniel's chest heaved, his skin glowing faintly with their silver light, and then something changed. The fire that had burned to destroy him began to merge. Instead of tearing him apart, it blended with his own strength. His own will, his body did not break. It adapted just as it always had. The alien girl gasped. Her eyes wide with awe, she whispered, He is not just taking it, he is becoming it. The glow around Daniel steadied, his trembling eased. His blade shone with the light of both human steel and alien fire. He stood tall, no longer crushed by the weight, but lifted by it, and his voice thundered, This is what it means to be human. We do not run, we do not stop. We endure until the fire itself becomes ours. The forest erupted with light, the crystals blazing brighter than ever. The soldiers staggered back, Their eyes wide, their spears lowered. The leader fell silent, his face pale with disbelief. Before them stood not a broken man, not a fragile human, but something new, something greater. The alien girl stepped closer, her silver skin glowing soft. Her green fire eyes filled with wonder. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "You have taken my fire. You have carried my weight, and you still live. You are proof that humans are not fragile. You are proof that humans can carry the stars." Daniel lowered his blade, his breath heavy but his gaze steady. "I did not do it to prove I am greater. I did it to show that humanity will always rise no matter the storm. No matter the fire." Her people fell to silence, their anger broken, their fear replaced with awe. The leader dropped his spear, his voice quiet. "Perhaps we were wrong." The alien girl turned to Daniel, her heart racing with a feeling she had never known. "You have changed everything," she whispered, "for me, for them, maybe even for the galaxy." Daniel looked at her, his lips curving into the faintest smile. "No, we changed it together." The crystals pulsed like a final heartbeat. The forest glowed with gentle light. And in that moment the revelation was complete. A human had touched the fire of the stars and lived. A human had shown that fragility could be strength. And the alien girl, once cursed and alone, was no longer untouchable. The galaxy would remember this night. The night when a fragile human proved that endurance, will, and spirit were stronger than fire. The night when the alien girl found not death in a human's touch, but life, and the night when two different worlds became one.